Hello everyone, my name is Black Tempest and today's video is a big one. This week's chapter, chapter 242, is easily in the top 5 most impactful chapters we've had. We'll start off with the chapter review and then move on to predictions. The chapter starts off where the last one stopped, with Asta and 11 clones rushing towards Dante. Dante doesn't seem to be too amused by this, but at the end of the day is finally pushed and reveals his devil form. He unleashes 50%, and just like his brother, he keeps his hand in his pockets, which at this point seems like to be in their genes. We see that all the clones went in and got flung away, and then got destroyed. But either way, we see that Asta was redirected. Asta sliced through the bended space mass, and it didn't disappear, so we can easily deduct that it's his passive after effect on the space that was caused by the ridiculous concentrated gravity. Now we've seen this before, to a smaller extent, when Third Eye Fana's passive heat irradiating caused the space to slightly warp, and this caused Finral unable to use his spatial magic. Now the reason I'm spending so much time on this is because this feat is pretty insane if you think about it. How many people can stop 12 post-time skip Astas with Black Meteorite and Divider combo? Dante, even without really trying, has already shown that he's clearly above the word devil. Dante, before Asta even realizes what's happening, puts his foot on his shoulder and crashes down to the ground. He says, and I feel a lot of people are confused about this, that his and Asta's ranks are different, but they are both devil-possessed. Judging from how he said it, that he meant his devil possessions are of different degree, with Asta's transformation being weaker and less refined than Dante's, not the ranks of the devil themselves. He said since both of them are devil-possessed, they should be able to see eye to eye. Asta obviously responds that they aren't the same, and how he does horrible things to his people. Now this is Dante's philosophy. He asks if Asta's calling him evil, and that if he is, then it's actually a compliment. He says that evil thoughts are something that only humans are able to feel. According to him, evil is the shape of humanity, and when you embrace your dark emotions, that's when you're most powerful and human. Now I really love this philosophy/ideology for a couple of reasons. First, it finally explains what he meant in chapter 238, when he said that humans are evil. A lot of people, myself included, thought that he thinks that having humanity is horrible and beneath him. But now after this, we see that he heavily supports and quote-unquote likes humanity, or at least his twisted version of it. Main reason I like this is because it's a wrong ideology that's very twisted to seem right, and it also has some correct parts as well, so it's hard to argue against. I'll now explain why it's wrong. First off, we must acknowledge that evil and negative emotions are different. He is right in the first part of his ideology, which is that animals can't be evil. Evil is defined as doing something immoral. Morality and evil are things that differ from different cultures. While to you and me, cannibalism is evil, in some places it's considered honorable. So cannibalism itself isn't evil. Doing it anyway in a society in which people consider it wrong is evil. Animals also have negative emotions, such as wrath, envy, desire for revenge, and lack of empathy. But since to animals nothing is considered wrong, and they just act on instinct, that's the difference between us and humans. Humans have morals which balance out personal desire and harming others, and depending on the person, one's morals might stop him from stealing because it harms the store owner, but another person would steal because he doesn't care about the others. The person that stole is the person who is least human and acts like an animal, based on self-serving instinct. Like Asta said, you can experience negative emotions and that's okay, but suppressing those emotions and using them from good is what truly makes you human. Dante comments on how Asta is a strange devil host, and Vanessa puts Rouge on Asta to protect him. Now this is one of the best Black Clover panels, not because of the art or how badass it was, but because, and I usually don't like saying this, I actually felt the emotions emanating from Dante. He straight up hit Vanessa with the yada yada. He said that you are my woman, and that you shouldn't use that power for anyone besides me. He activates 60% and Rouge disappears. Now this is also a part that a lot of people are confused about. People say that Dante's gravity magic made Rouge disappear, which is wrong, because we see in the next panel that Vanessa says that Dante made her expand all her mana, which means that him transforming into 60% basically killed or heavily injured Asta, finishing the last of her mana. Some people say that Dante pushed out the mana from Vanessa, which is also wrong, because it makes the last statement make no sense, and Henry confirms he still has mana, so it wouldn't make sense for him to push mana out of Vanessa and leave the other two. Dante makes a gravity field which has multiple directions, throwing the Raging Bull in different ways, and pinning Vanessa, Grey, and Gauche. He takes the stone from a ground and uses a spell, Gravity Magic, Evil God's Pressure Craft, and forms a giant crystal sword. I say it's crystal because its color changed, and it makes complete sense, because when rock is under extreme pressure it turns into crystal. Also, seeing the pattern of the sword is the same as the cave we've seen before when Dante first showed up, so now we know it's not an ice cave but a giant crystal. He states that he wants to awaken Asta's true feelings, and proceeds to stab through Gauche's entire torso. Now we've seen this almost identical injury before with Julius. The sword is much wider and thicker, so Gauche is going to die very soon unless someone comes along. Gauche is a very powerful black bull, and is also a top 10 most popular character. Tabata doesn't do this for the sake of shock value. One of the black bulls needed to quote-unquote die for the plot to move on, and Asta getting a new transformation. I personally really like Gauche, but I think his death can have a positive impact on the overall story. After this we see a person, who I think is a woman, because their hair length would be pretty weird for a male. Also, this could explain why Asta has no magic, because a lot of theories are that something happened to Asta's mom while she was pregnant, and will fit in because the Witch Queen and Nathan Agrippa said that he isn't cursed. And finally, another point supporting this is that Noel's mom has a connection to Dark Triad, and Yuna had a flashback of his mom when he fought Zeno, so it makes sense for Asta to get one about his mom as well. After this, Asta gets a much more powerful black form. This form has his entire left side, as opposed to the usual top left half of his body covered. His arms and legs have devil claws. A lot of his face is covered, and a third horn comes on his right side. He also gets a smaller wing and a tail. Based on what we've seen before, I'd say that this devil form is 65%. This concludes this chapter review, and I'll now go on for my predictions of what I think will happen in the next couple of chapters. Before that, if you follow me on Twitter, you would have saw this edit that I made a couple of weeks ago, and I think what will happen.
Oh yeah.
Now let's get back to business. First off, I believe that next chapter to bottom my blue walls and take us to the Hard Kingdom. It just seems like the perfect time to do this. Next, what I predict will happen in the Dante fight is that Asta will be fighting, and backup from the Clover Kingdom will arrive. I thought before that Dante will kill Yami, but if Gauche dies, it seems much less likely. I think that Yami, alongside some other captains, and most likely the current Wizard King, who is probably Fugolion, will arrive and all push back Dante. Dante would have probably at this point killed Gauche and captured Vanessa, giving the all-important connection of Asta to the Dark Triad, until we possibly get some other connections with his origin story. And also give Yami and Asta a reason to go into the Spade Kingdom. Thank you for watching my video. Don't forget to like and subscribe for future content. I have a ton of videos I want to do, and since I like writing my script beforehand and pre-recording it, sometimes I don't have time. But hopefully this week I can upload my video that I've been wanting to do for a good amount of time, detailing the morality and philosophy of Black Clover characters. Anyway, I'm Black Tempest, and peace out.